Happy New Year.
Hold on, let me hit this live button. Hold on.
Oh,
Yeah, we ain't there yet. Hold
oh.
on there, Speedy Magruder.
Mm-mm-mm.
All right. We's on there. Hold on. All right, yeah, we're good.
All right, we good. Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year to everybody.
Yeah, Feliz Nuevo Años.
You are a whole mess.
What are you talking about? Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, last night, tonight, tomorrow night, yesterday, today, tomorrow. We back at it again.
Back at it.
Episode of Just Cuz podcast. We're gonna I think we got some opposing views on tonight's topic.
You think
Maybe.
so?
Maybe.
Oh, it could cause a lot of might cause a war.
Like the Hatfields and the McCoys.
Yeah, for real.
Maybe.
You know, views change over time. That's for real.
Oh, look who's that. Happy New Year, Mom. I ain't gonna say your name, but you know who you are.
Happy New Year.
All right, so what we gonna get into?
So we're going to do education tonight. I'm not sure how deep you want to get into this, but yeah, so it's been plenty of discussion of K-12 importance, what they are teaching our kids in college, how important is it for us? May not be important for some. My views have changed. Yeah. So you know, what should we start with? What do you think we should start with?
Man, what should we start with? Do we want? I don't know. I don't know where I want to poke this bear
at. Oh man. Okay, so we'll start with college. So what should I say? A different podcast you shared with me a couple days.
Okay, yeah.
And they discussed whether it was important to go to school or not, right?
Yeah, clearing the air is another podcast. Couple of guys. They was talking about does everybody have to go to college, or does everybody have to go to college? Yes or no? My answer, no. I don't think everybody has to go to college. Because look, all right, you know how I feel about school and education. Like, I really feel like the premise of school, not learning and not educating, but the purpose and the premise of school is not to prepare you for society. And how we live and how we're supposed to thrive and survive in society. And since I've been reading this book, it's called Weapons of Mass Instruction, and it's written by a award-winning teacher who taught in the New York school system. And like, he taught for years and he's won many accolades as a teacher. But through his journey of teaching and learning about teaching, he's come to, like, school was created to instill nationalism and to be a subordinate.
Okay.
So, and I said it because, like, if you remember, years ago, what was the first one you did when you got to school? And you got to your first class?
Allegiance.
You did the Pledge of Allegiance every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You're instilling America. This is the country, this is the greatest thing on earth.
Yeah.
Pledge your allegiance to this country. Everything that you live, eat, breathe is America.
Yes.
And it's kind of like, don't worry about anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like it kind of sections our country off from other countries, kind of.
It does.
And it's very, I feel like it's very prevalent today, because the first thing you do is America.
Yes.
America. You know, so I mean, it's taught in school. Is how, you know, it's the premise of what school is. Now, does everybody have to go to college? No, I don't think everybody has to go to college. I really feel it depends on your goals and what you're trying to do. If college is the path that you feel is going to get you to where you need to be, then fine. You know, I mean, you take that path. But if college is not that, if you don't feel like college is that path that's going to take you where you want to be, or it's not going to get you closer to your goals,
Mm-hmm.
no, I mean, you may find other avenues to get to where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you brought this up, because like there's many of successful people who dropped out of college, and some even dropped out of high school.
Yeah.
And have become extremely successful. And they have college graduates that work for them.
Absolutely.
So,
you know, I can be all over the place with this topic. So let me just give a little of my background. My grandmother, my dad's mother, was superintendent of a school district here in Delaware. One of the first few Blacks to be a superintendent. She went to Dell State, graduated from Dell State, went on to get her master's, had enough credits to get her doctorate. My grandfather went to Dell State, got his bachelor's degree. I'm not sure if he got a master's. He probably had enough credits to get a master's. Mom, I'm sure she went to college, has a lot of credits. So with that being said, and my dad did too, I believe, but he didn't finish. So for me, it was a lot of persuasiveness to attend college. So they thought it was best for me to do that. This is what the family came and said, that it was no choice for me to do this because I had a child on the way, and this was the best route for me because I wasn't going into the military. And you know, I just knew that I had to get another option. So the best option was to go to school. With that being said, did I have a clue of what I wanted to do to get this college degree and why I needed to get it? Probably not. I would say now, no, I didn't have the full purpose of why I was going to school to get this degree. So with that being said, I was just doing it because other people told me to. I was doing what my elders told me to. I knew that I had to do it because it would create more opportunities for me and, you know, possibly make me more money in the long run. So with that being said, I think that, well, going back to the other podcast, posing that question, I do not think college is for everybody, but it is for somebody. I will keep saying that. It is for people out here. That it is their option to go to college and make it work for them. Now, I will say if you have the money or the opportunity to go to college, then yes, if you want to. But I don't think that people should persuade you to do it if you really don't want to do it. I hear a lot of kids that were with my daughter's class of 2021 having a lot of parents persuade them to or mandate them to go to college. And, you know, when you get to this college campus, and we tend to not teach our kids, it's not the same as home as it is at college. we don't even prepare these kids to even go to class, because some of us are really doing their work for them. So just to get them by, so when they get to school, they're not even ready and prepared to get up in the morning, because mom and dad are no longer saying, hey, I'm your alarm clock, you need to get up. So of course they're sleeping through classes. They're not attending classes. So when you don't attend classes, let me just tell you from experience. That's why I said I can go full on with this. When you don't go to classes, you start failing. When you start failing, that financial aid is starting to stop on you. Who's paying for this college tuition? Why are you wasting money if you're not going to college, if you're not going to the classes? So a lot of us, me included, wasted a lot of money doing other stuff that we weren't supposed to be doing because we were not focused or prepared to go to college. So now we're paying all of that money back because we were doing stupid stuff before. So with that being said, I'm saying you need to prepare these kids. And this is why I've been so on my daughter, because I know how it is to pay some money right now. And you didn't really have to pay all of that money to get a degree, but you wasted some along the way. So I would say do your work. If you're going to college, be focused. Know where you're going for. This is business. If you want to make a career out of this, if you want to link up or network with people, then do that. But at the same time, make sure your schoolwork is done. And yes, you can party on the side. I'm not saying don't party, but know your limits. So back to the importance of education. I do think K through 12 is important, but should it be drilled into our kids that they need to know certain math equations that we do not use in the regular world as regular people on an everyday basis? I think that a lot of time is wasted when we drill all these classes that are really not needed. A lot of history. I don't remember any of that stuff. I said it before. It's not important to me. It's really not. So why are you teaching me this every year?
I'm telling you, I ain't been to a store yet that had a letter in the price. Ain't a store I've been to, or ain't a website that I've purchased something that had a letter in the price. I'm telling you.
So why take us through all of that?
Like I said, like it's so that's another thing. Like the way the what's it called? The curriculum. And what is the government deems is the baseline of what needs to be taught, what should be taught, and and putting like these kind of like I don't know if you want to say like these left and right limits on what teachers can teach and what they can't teach. And I know there's some teachers out there that they are creative in what they teach. Yes. You know what I mean? And teacher pay, that's another big thing. But anyway.
It is a big thing.
But yeah, I mean, I don't like Robert Kiyosaki. He's the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad. I watched a video of him, and he was saying he went to his math teacher, and he was like, "Where do you use this that you're teaching us?" He was like, "I use it here. This is the only place I use this form of math." So nowhere outside of him teaching his class does he use that form of math. You know what I mean? So it's like,
what's the point? Is it important to you or to the university that you're teaching it at, or is it important to everybody across the board? I mean, I love statisticians and I love mathematicians. You're great at what you do, but are great at numbers. But do we use that every day? If you're not an accountant, if you're not in the business field, if you're not doing Excel spreadsheets, if we're not handling any of that type of stuff on a daily basis, of course you need it for formulas and things like that. I get all of that. But some of that trig and all that stuff, it's not important to me. Never has been.
Yeah. I hope I don't say this wrong, but Shantice, he was saying, or she said they were saying schools focus on credit, or they should focus on real life skills.
Absolutely. It should be more of that. And I don't think it's enough. Now, I know with my middle schooler, that's starting to push, well, they replace, I think, the music program with Future Farmers of America. So, okay, I can see some type of balance with that. But at the same time, can we get more life skills? They need to know how to cook. They need to know how to make a solid meal.
Why? When you got DoorDash?
No.
I got DoorDash. Why I need to
You gotta have the money to buy DoorDash. You gotta have the money by working.
Hey, you got a point.
You know, we're teaching our kids to, and I just said it the other day, like they think that they can make money off of social media. Social media is everything to them. And you know, you gotta have some type of balance in life. You're gonna have to work.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. I think it's like anything. Like it's certain things get glamorized by society, just like rappers, athletes. You know, right now it's like investing. But we're talking about real estate, stock market,
Yeah,
cryptocurrency. Like investors is like being glorified right now, and it's like these people that you see on these platforms that are saying, yo, I made X amount of dollars a day, or, you know, I can show you how to make X amount of dollars. And, you know, if you come pay me and subscribe to my stuff, like if you listen, like they want you to come and pay them, because a lot of the times what they do is the stuff that they tell you, like, this is what you should invest in, they've already invested in it. And then they tell their followers or the subscribers to invest in it to push the price up, and then they get out, and then they tell you to get out. And that's what they do on the news too. Like they tell you, like, this is what I think the hottest stock pick is right now, and then they've already invested in that.
already
they tell you
made their money.
Right. So we're talking about things that get glorified. If you're talking about social media stars, because you're talking about it, you think it's easy because you can get 1 million followers on TikTok. You know what I mean? And then you go over to Instagram, you ain't getting 1 million followers like you are on TikTok, because everybody's on TikTok right now and they all trying to be these TikTok stars. But there's a lot behind it that, you know, you have to figure out on how these TikTok stars, these social media stars are making money. But you don't know that. You think it's just, I just gotta get my followers up and then I'm able to make money. Like, nah, it's a lot more to it. It's almost like a job.
It is a job. And I just want to say, I was talking to a family a couple months ago, and we were talking about TikTok stars. And I said, they were saying, you know, they have money or whatever. And I'm saying, I know personally that they don't. And I can show you a text where somebody just texted me and said otherwise. And I know it to be true. So you can't base what you're seeing on social media off of the real thing, because it may not be true. That, you know, it's a lot of upkeep with those TikTok stars. It's a lot of what should I say, things that are not seen. You will have to pay taxes on whatever money that is made that people are really not seeing. It puts you in a whole nother tax bracket when you have thousands of dollars coming in from content. You're supposed to be paying on it. If you're not, you can get away with it for a little bit, like these PPP stuff, but your time will come. It is what it is. The IRS is going to want their money some way, somehow, and they're going to get it. But they're not, our kids and grown people don't see this. They just want that instant gratification, meaning that if I can show that I have this money, or I have this car, I drive this car, I have this lifestyle, if I'm traveling all the time, because I'm seeing it. I just looked at a girl earlier and I was just like, man, all I see is you traveling. I don't ever see nothing with your kids. And you're a social media person. So yeah, you can make your money, but where's your life balance at? And I think that should be taught in school as well. Yes, you want to make your money, but you also have to have some type of balance as well with life, you know?
Yeah, but again, you talk about balance. Is so where's the balance on what we want to be taught in schools and what needs to be taught at home? And like the I'm looking at the comments now, and like saying the new generation don't know how to cook, clean, or wash, and and it's like another comment is like it goes back to parents going to these school board meetings and saying what's voting about what needs to be in the curriculum, what doesn't need to be in the curriculum, and being a part of that deciding factor. You know what I mean? Like I don't have no kids, but like when was the last, I don't know, do they still have PTA meetings? And
They do, but let me just say this. It starts at the state, well, it really starts at the federal level. And then it trickles down to the state level. So here in Delaware, yes, we had Department of Education, and they set a curriculum to follow. They have the teachers go to these classes where they teach how to do mathematics on a certain level. And I want to say it changes every now and then, every couple of years. So you may teach it one way for a couple of years, and then someone else has this bright idea, and someone in Department of Education buys into it. So they say, oh, you know what? You have a bright idea. Let's change everything that we taught the kids before. So now the kids have to learn a new way of doing things. Or us parents thinking that we know because in the 1990s and the 2000s, this is the way that we did it. So here we come in with this new generation of people in Department of Education, and they change everything, telling us that we're crazy because we're doing it this way. So we're trying to teach our kids a certain way, and they're trying to teach our kids another way, an additional way to do things, the newer way. Should be the smarter way of doing things, but it's really not. It's really confusing. So I can't help my kids with any mathematics. I'm doing my way because this is what worked for me. So you're trying to tell them.
Is this where that quadrant math came from?
I want to say it is.
Yeah. You got to make like a whole.
I'm not gonna go through it.
You got to make a whole graph chart to do addition. Like I got to pull out protractors and my compass. You know what I'm saying? I got to do land nav to figure out how 2 + 2 = 4 now. Like what's going on?
Wait a minute. When the last time you pulled out a compass?
When I do land nav out here in these sticks, when we play Army.
But somebody like me, I don't use it unless I'm doing something with cricket. But other than that, like I'm saying, it's a lot of stuff that's a lot of time that's being wasted trying to teach our kids things that they're not going to use. And it's frustrating when you bring this up to DOE or at a district level, because the district is going to flip it and say, go to DOE, send them an email, make an appointment with them. Nobody's meeting with you in Department of Education, not as a parent. They will rarely read an email if they do, because they have so many opinions that are being sent to them. So, it's really going to take a lot for us parents to keep pushing the envelope to say, okay, these changes need to be made. Yes, they do need to learn about credit. When we walk across that stage, I know when I did, I really didn't know nothing about credit. My grandfather told me, do not get any credit cards at all. It is the devil. You will be paying it your whole entire life. And it is like
yeah, it's crazy. I told you about one of my friends. She said her mom was saying like, you don't ever get a credit card.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have one. And it's like oh man, like
education do that.
Because you don't know what you don't know. So you can't pass the information on. But then it's almost like you're holding back. You're passing on that fear and that, you know what I mean? Like, and you passing on that unknown. It's kind of like, then you got figured out on your own. And so that's another thing it kind of grinds me. Like, I spend 12 years in school, right? So you graduate when you're 18 or 17, you know what I mean? And then it's like, and now you go off to college or you go off to the workforce, and it's like, no, I've not these past 12 years that I've been getting educated has not taught me how to interact in society.
No.
You know what I mean? So now I gotta spend X amount of years on how to figure it out. And now and then if you go to college and you don't have well-off parents, or you don't get some type of tuition scholarship or tuition assistance or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you go out here and get these loans. And now, like, my first introduction to society and life is instantly me going into debt. And so now I got to figure out how to pay this debt, how to interact in society, how to pay taxes, how to balance the checkbook, how to balance my banking account in general. You know what I mean? I don't know any, I've never been taught anything about the stock market. I haven't been taught anything about, how to interact in this corporate world. It's like, and then I haven't been taught anything about credit. You know what I mean? So I have to go out and now I have to figure this stuff out.
Yes.
And for a lot of us, I'm out of the house. I ain't got my parents. I can do whatever I want. I'm trying to go party. Like I'm trying to live my life. So that's like another 5, 10, whatever years of me like just out here having fun and like not really worried about me buying this car, and now I got this. I got to worry about insurance and gas, and if something happens to the car, I gotta get it fixed, or it's like, and then when it's kind of like, like I'm trying to. Now I got to figure this out. I might be 30 by the time I'm like, all right, I need to make a change. And I got a 400 credit score. You know what I mean? And like, I got 1,001 inquiries on my credit because I'm let car dealerships, run my credit through every ridiculous, loan shark out there trying to get this car that I thought I needed and wanted, but didn't really need. Or this level of car, you know what I mean? So it's like now I'm maybe like in my 30s, and like now they figure it out, you know what I'm saying? And then like stuff that like, that I have on my credit report, now it's going to take me 7 years to try and get it off my credit report so I can boost my credit score. But then I got on social media, I got, everybody on there talking about credit repair and credit help, and they want me to pay them.
Yep.
To fix my credit report, which really all they doing is just getting some prefabricated letters that they already have and sending it to whoever these people are that's on my credit report, and they just sending them letters. But I'm paying you for this service that you said that you're going to do, and you're going to raise my credit score. But now I'm trying to get a house because I'm tired of living in an apartment. But when I try to go get this house, I gotta provide all these documents that I never looked at these documents a day in my life. Now you want me to provide these documents to you?
Yeah.
It's like now you mid-30s, almost 40s, and you trying to purchase a house, and for the first time, when you could have purchased a house a long time ago, if you had this knowledge and you had these skills of how to interact in society. But no, we gotta learn about all these ridiculous half told history, and we got to learn about letters and numbers and math, and we got to learn about social studies, about Christopher Columbus and how he never tells us that he actually got lost and he wasn't actually the first person to come over here. And you want me to learn about the Civil War, which that's a whole nother subject. I'm not good at
your version of the Civil War, not my version, or not my history.
You want me to learn about George Washington, and it's just like, what is this?
Foolishness. That's what it is. It's foolishness. And it's going to take for us to undo everything, like by us, like people like Earn Your Leisure or and that is giving people opportunities, meaning we're going to give you these tools, but you're going to have to do the work as well. So that's why I think that yes, all of that needs to be in the school, but like you always say, is it going to happen? Not soon enough. Not nowhere near in a couple of years is going to happen, because we're still in the mind state of uh just trying to talk about racial issues in itself. They're trying to X that out of the mix. That it never happened, or you got to be all for America. Now, I'm not saying I don't love America. I'm just saying some of the stuff that y'all have been pushing in us is not important to me. And I think if I knew as a 19 or 20-year-old that I could go out and buy a house having uh, a good credit score and a stable job, and that would have swapped me with a college degree, I definitely would have done that at that particular time, and not been in what should I say, a different type of situation right now in my 30s, trying to do stuff that I should have been doing in my 20s. If I was really, really paying attention and people pushed me in that direction of, hey, let's do this. It's the smarter way to have your own, build your own, whatever. Not saying that it'll never happen now. I'm saying that I'm working extra harder now when I didn't have to 20 years ago. So with that being said, I think that we need to educate our kids, no different than, I know we talked about it previously with my own daughter. I wanted to make sure that when she graduated, that I gave her what I could give her, meaning all the knowledge or most of the knowledge, what I had. Now, when she crossed that stage, she had a good credit score. I can't say I had a good credit score because I didn't even know, wasn't checking for no credit score when I graduated.
Right.
So like, just wasn't important to me. But I was already behind the 8 ball because I had a kid coming. So with that being said, now you're pushed to make money because you gotta support this child. Not, India, go ahead, get your credit score together, get your house, get your money up, stack your money up, don't spend no money, don't go overboard. But me, on the other hand, I had to learn the hard way. I mean, I've always done things backwards. So and that's my thing. So I just would recommend, if to all parents, making sure that whatever is not taught in school, that you teach it at home. And if you don't know, there are plenty of people out here that you can follow, like Credit Medics and Earn Your Leisure, people like that you don't have to necessarily pay to retain knowledge. I'm not really big on credit repair because, like you just said, it's something that you should be able to do on your own. I mean, you messed up your credit on your own, so why not repair it on your own? So I mean, why involve unnecessary people that wasn't in the mix in the first place?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep it real. I mean, if we're gonna talk about it, we're gonna talk about it. A lot of us have been there. So don't go out here and pay somebody $600 to $1,000 to repair your credit.
Facts. Especially now, like especially like you have access to information way faster and way more accessible now than we did in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, with all this social media, all you gotta do is get on Google, or you can ask Siri. You just get on there and look up, hey, how do I do this? Or what is this? Or what is the actual law on, or the process to get stuff removed on your credit report, or how do I boost my, whatever. And there's YouTube videos that, you don't have to subscribe to anybody. You can just watch. And yes, it's probably a lot of fluff out there, but there's still some small little gems, some small little information that you can still get out of those fluff. And you may hear the same thing multiple times, but it's part of the process. And once you get a good grasp on it and you figure it out, then you don't have to worry about it, doing that research no more, because you know how to do it yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like getting that education and learning. You know what I mean? And I think we talked about it before. Like, if you got something that went into collections, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to pay those collectors, because the whoever the original debt was to, they already got their money once
absolutely, when they send it to them.
When they send it to them, or they've insured, whatever that loan is or whatever that debt is, it's insured. So once they write it off, like, they've gotten their money, and then they may sell it to some debt collector and some collection agency, and all they're gonna do is sit there and try and call you and send you these ridiculous letters. But you have to read, you got to read those letters all the way through. Because I got a ridiculous letter one day, and it wasn't about that. It was for something else. I saw, because I started a new business, and I got some letter, and it was saying, like, Tennessee law says that you have to have this posted up in your office, and or your place of business. And we'll pay us $100-something, and we'll send it to your home, whatever. And then at the bottom it was like, none of this is law, and you don't, it's like, we're not. And then it wasn't even from Tennessee. It was an address from Florida. I'm like, what?
Mine was from California.
I was like, first of all, what I'm saying, at least be from the state that you said that I need to have.
I know, right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, get out of here. I'm straight in the trash.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. But when it comes to like these collection agencies, all they do is they try to continue to, quote unquote, make you think that you have to pay it, or there's a some type of penalty that's coming to you. And it's just a marketing tactic to get you to contact them.
Yes.
Really all they want to do is say, hey, you can settle with us and you don't have to pay the full amount, and like, you just pay this amount. Basically all they're doing is they trying to get a profit for what they pay for it, which is not what you owe. And anytime that you respond or talk to them, that just restarts the clock.
Yes, it does.
Credit report longer. So it's just like that information right there. Like, you just got to ignore that and just be like, I'm getting this off, or it's whatever. And it's simple letter. Like, you just like, look, I want this off my credit report. Like, it's been X amount of years, or this was the circumstance of why.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Like if there was if you got like a late payment, like when this pandemic hit, and like nobody was working, and like I was in Kuwait, and like I didn't know, but my mortgage is automatically sent to the mortgage company, but it was getting kicked back to me, and I didn't know it was getting kicked back to me. And something just told me to check my statements for my mortgage, and it was like, I ain't made a payment in 3 months. I said, hold on now.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Pump your brakes.
You know what I'm saying? So then I had to, of course, I paid that, and then it was like, they tried to report that I didn't pay, and I was like, look, nah, this is what happened, yada yada yada, and they fixed it. Like, like nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like, it's, you can't be scared to like call and be like, look, this is the situation, where what's going on, how can we get this fixed? Because that stuff dropped my credit score like 40 points or something like that. I was like, whoa, hold on there.
You called me.
Yeah, I was like, hold on, Crash Bandicoot. Like, hey, we need to talk about this.
For real.
It's out of control.
It gets crazy with those late payments, and it will drop your credit score. And for people, like, I know last year, with me, I was trying to go through different processes of taking care of business. And it just seemed like the more that I paid stuff off, it was more stuff that would pop up. And, I just had to get through the different phases of paying the bills off that I created. And you know, it's really important to just make sure that you stay on top of everything. Yes, we tend to forget different things, but they have different options now for us to set up, you know, payments to come through our accounts and all that different stuff. If you can do that, if you trust them to do that. So, you know, it is what it is. Sometimes we mess up, but you know, it's important, like I said, for these kids to know how to manage their money properly, how much is coming in and how much is going out. Is really, really important. I know for mine, I have set up accounts for them, multiple accounts, because I just don't trust in one bank. Something happens, shut things down, and your money is tied up. I do not believe in that at all. So yeah.
That's another thing. You know, the bank only insures your money up to 250,000.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got anything more than 250,000 in one bank, anything over 250,000, you've lost out.
Yeah, you might want to send it somewhere else. Send partially somewhere else. So, you know, and you always talk about the money that is stored in the account, you know, that they're loaning out to people.
Absolutely. Money doesn't, the banks don't hold money. Like like there's no ain't no Scrooge McDuck days where, you know, you just jump in a, you know, you go into your vault and jump into some some money and go for a swim. Like,
oh my gosh.
Like bank doesn't hold actual money in the bank. Like that money that the banks have gets loaned out to other people. Because if you go to your bank and get a loan, they're basically loaning your money back to you.
Yeah. So you know, a couple months ago, with my job, they had tied it up to where in my 401k, they have marked me as not working this entire time during the pandemic. So I told you about that a couple months ago. And it took them about 2 months to get this, 2 to 3 months to get this cleared up. I had worked the entire pandemic. I never stopped working. And they said that they had an issue with their computer system. But really, at the end of the day, you took my money and loaned it to other people. Now, I'm going to need you to know that it's my money. And you're not going to control it.
But the JG Whitworth you.
Yes, it's not going to happen. So you guys make sure that y'all are paying attention to the right banks to do business with, because some of these banks and companies will use you. They have to use you to make their money, and they're going to make their money any way possible. And we need to teach our kids, like I always tell my cousin over here, I don't want to call the bank for anything. I want them to call me and ask me, what can we do for you? I don't want me to keep calling them and saying, hey, can you loan me this money? You should be sending me offers in the mail 24/7, every day of the week.
Don't send it to me. I'm getting tired of seeing that stuff. I'm tired of seeing these pre-approved, pre-selected.
Yes.
With these
it's
false
so
narrative,
tempting.
these false narrative statements. I'm pre-selected. Yeah, I'm everybody who got this letter, this credit. Everybody who got this credit card deal was pre-selected. That don't mean that you about to give me some money. It just means you found me in the system and you sent me this letter. Get out here. Pre-approved up to 200,000. Yeah, and then you go in there and apply and they give you 2,000. Up to me,
out of control, but they make you feel so special. Some people need that.
Hey,
they get that letter in the mail. They like, oh my gosh, they thought of me. Let me go and do this. Yeah, they thought of you. All right, setting you up.
I put you right in circle 513.
Yes. Trash. Oh my gosh.
Where you going?
Yeah, but it's definitely interesting with this education, and how they're going to go forward. Now, I am praying for the teachers at this point with this COVID situation, because I really do think that we're going back to remote until they get this thing figured out. And it is what it is. It's no need to stress yourself over anything, because it's out of our hands. So if you don't want to do it, I would suggest, like the other teachers that didn't want to do it, bow out right now. don't take it out on the kids, because they're just kids. They're here to be taught. So, just be patient with everybody. And I know my kids always come home talking about their teachers yelling at them and saying you had to put your mask up because I got to think about my kids too. And I get that to a certain point, but be patient with these kids. This is really new to all of us, and we're all tired of wearing the mask, and it is what it is. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think learning is essential. And how you and the method that you of learning that you choose is where it starts to get tricky, and then the system of education, of the school education is gets even more trickier for me because that's
Did you have good teachers when you went to school in your school district? Did you have teachers that related to you?
I tell you this, I've had teachers that I liked, that I enjoy being in their class, and I'm telling you, it's not a whole lot.
It was not a whole lot.
It was not a whole lot. Relate? No, absolutely not. No, there was not a whole bunch of teachers that relate to me, or
So when you went, it wasn't a lot of minority teachers in your school district.
No.
So I say that because it's really important for our kids to have a balance of teachers. Some kids do well, like my son does well with male teachers, have always done well with male teachers, better than female teachers that he has had. So I know for me, when I was in middle school, I don't remember having too many bad teachers, or not equipped teachers that I couldn't relate to or that they were nasty. I don't think that I really dealt with that until I got into high school, when you got to the point where you were only allowed to take certain classes if you were a certain race. Yeah, I didn't deal with that, and I didn't know about it until I got to high school. So a lot of that goes on too. Still goes on. So
and that's another thing that since I read this book, it's about separating the people, because it's crazy, because you hear it all the time, like if you divide the people, they're easier to control. So if you divide your students, what I mean, then they'll continue in that division as they grow up and become adults and part of society. Just so, like, it talks about how how you divide the students when it comes to this grades. Like, if you get a certain grade level, or have a certain GPA, they kind of bunch all y'all together, and we'll keep all you smart kids together, so that way you continue to talk amongst yourself. But if you're not doing so well, we're gonna put all you over here instead of intermingling, so that way
they are segregating the smart versus who they think is not smart.
Right.
And sometimes those people that you think are not so smart, book smart, are smart in other areas, very intelligent in other areas. Some people learn on different levels. Some people are visual learners. Some people are, is it analytical learners? So I don't think it really, it bugs me how people judge people who they think are smart, meaning that are smart in areas. Meaning that I have heard a lot, well, you may be book smart, but you're not street smart. Or you got a degree in this, but you don't have any common sense. Those type of statements. So I feel like, yes, you can be an expert in an area, certain areas, but that's okay that you don't master other areas. And I don't think we should judge each other when we're not experts in other areas, is what I should be saying.
Right. But that's how that's how society, categorizes, or if you don't do well in school, then you're
dumb.
You're dumb, which is not the case. Everybody doesn't learn the same way, but you force this baseline level of how we're going to teach everyone. You know what I mean? And it's, I believe it's by design of like, that's how you continue to separate, the masses. And then you create this division, and then, it becomes easier to control. And then,
I think me personally, I think they need to do away with the state testings because it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not an educator, but you can't tell me that you can tell how smart I am by taking a test. I was never a test taker.
How I retain the information?
Yes.
Because like, if I don't care who you are, if you're not constantly using the information,
you're going to forget it.
Your brain files it somewhere else. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you don't use it, you lose it. And then like, unless then you have to dust it off, and then you kind of like, you have to relearn, go back through the steps and, do that hands-on. But like, just because I remember it for that test, because I've taken lots of tests, even in in the military, we have schools, and it's like you go to this course and you learn whatever, you take a test at the end. We just remember it for the test. And then once we pass the test, that stuff goes, stuff is gone. Like, I don't remember how to do that stuff, or like, you know what I mean? But if I continuously use it, that's how that's kind of how you retain information, because and you can even improve on it if you continue to use it and you apply it. But just to use some tests and SATs and state tests, and
it's foolishness. All of it is foolishness. And you're gonna tell me that if I score a 1600, is it 1600 now? The highest? She's not listening. But but I think it is where they change it now. And that will, or might even be in the 2000s now. But if you score the highest amount, that makes you a top scholar, and you get the grants and scholarships. You get more of the money. And to me, I don't think that's fair. You're telling me that people that get into the college, they can't get any grants or scholarships at all? Doesn't make any sense to me. But who am I? I'm not.
You know what you can get though?
Huh?
You know what you can get? You can come on over here and get this debt.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was going to refer to when you said that.
Get this debt.
So listen about that, and I meant to talk about this in another podcast that we did before. So when you go through your college applications, Common App, right? For some of these Common App applications, they will ask you, is your mom or dad a celebrity? Then you can, yes, it's still going on. So you get a chance to type in their name, what they're known for. You're bumped to the top of the list. Yeah. So, so some people wonder why. Well, how do these kids get in here or whatever? That's why. So that goes on. You sign up for these loans as kids, and you're not really thinking, you just really want to go to school. Doesn't matter what you pay for. I mean, doesn't matter the loan amount at all. They don't even really, if you don't have anything on your credit reports, they're gonna slide you right on through. They don't care your credit score or whatever. They say they do, but really, if you don't have no delinquencies on there, you're going straight through. And they're gonna say, hey, we'll give you the max. And guess what? You're paying for max and that interest that's on top of it too when you graduate. So with that being said, they don't really care. Now, I will say, Clark Atlanta, I am praying for y'all 2025, clear these student loans. That's what I want you to do. I want you to do it. But and any other HBCU, because I know y'all got the money. But anyway, clear my student loans to Joe Biden. Navient and whoever else that owns it now, clear them too. That's what I want y'all to do. Just make it right. Clear something. But you have to be mindful of these loans that you take out, especially now, because they're going to put it into place where they're not going to help us at all. I don't think that we need to buy in anymore to anyone saying that they're going to help us out with our student loans. Either you're going to sign it and you're going to pay for it and you're not going to worry about it or complain about it, or you're just going to suck it up and keep it moving, or figure out how you're going to pay for your college. That's what they're really doing at this point. I can't see them changing it to where college is going to be for free. It's the moneymaker, the unknown moneymaker. It's $1 billion business.
It is.
They're not going to take it away.
The only thing I see is that possibly their attendance will start to drop as more people talk about education and how crippling this going into this loan debt for school will be. You know what I mean? And because like it's so easy that you can go out here and get this debt for school, but you can't go to any car dealership and get a car because your credit's not worth your credit's not worthy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not worthy for me to get a $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 car, but it's worthy for me to get $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 college loan debt.
Yeah.
I can't get a house, but I can get this loan debt.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's being I think it's being challenged on a small level. If you follow some of these conversations, then you'll hear it a lot. But if you're not following it, you won't hear it. But it's being challenged at a small level, and I feel like at some point it's college attendance may drop, or it's going to shift. It's going to shift away from your Ivy Leagues, and it's going to shift to your HBCUs. And I say that because athletes, your young high school athletes, middle school athletes that are talking to town, and they start looking at going to colleges, and if they start going into these HBCUs instead of some of these other colleges, because for so long they have been the norm of like, if you go to this particular school, your chances of going pro is a lot better than other schools. So I feel like it's going to be shifting. Like, I also feel like attendance is going to drop because the narrative is changing. There's a lot of conversations about going back to before school, because like a lot of your so-called pioneers and like your Carnegie, your Ford, your Rockefeller, they didn't go to school. You know what I mean? They were, they learned by interacting within society, and they saw where there was a need and they built businesses at ages of like 13 and 14,
Mhm.
15. They started, getting Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels started learning how to, from Nearest Green. He started learning how to make whiskey at the age of like 12, 13.
Really?
Yeah, Nearest Green, the guy, who taught Jack Daniels how to make whiskey, started making whiskey at like 10. Like he
Really?
started learning at 10 and perfected it around like 16, 15, 16, something like that. But like because Nearest Green was a slave that was free, but he continued to work, but as a distiller, you know, but because he was given the task of learn how to make whiskey, he learned he started learning at a young age, and he was able to perfect it, and he ended up working for Jack Daniels because Jack Daniels, once he figured it out and he started making his, this business, he asked Nearest Green to continue to distill for him.
Okay.
So, we're talking 13, 14, 15-year-olds that are trying to create these businesses. And then by the time they're 20, 25 or whatever,
They're millionaires.
they're making X amount of money because they had that earlier start instead of, where we're starting at 18, 17, 18, getting out of high school, or maybe 21, 22 when we get out of college or whatever. And, now we got to figure out how we're going to navigate this society.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's,
I want to go back to the HBCU rates that will be dropping, because I think that is really important to discuss this. So the situation over at Howard with the dorms and the students sleeping outside, I was really disappointed in Felicia Rashad, of the way that she handled the media and questioning whether the kids or the students were taking the right approach. So I will say this: the amount of money that we pay as parents and students to these universities, and things are not properly taken care of in these buildings, for these kids to go to attend school, whether it's a Wi-Fi not working, whether it's rats, roaches, water damage, whatever. I've heard of it all at many of colleges just this past semester. The attendance will drop because parents are not going to put up with that, meaning sending their kids somewhere and things are not properly taken care of, and we're paying you 30 or 40 grand a year for what? And I think now with this pandemic being extended for this month, it's going to be a lot of people questioning, why am I paying for room and board if my kids are not there? So where's that money going to? If they're not there and you're charging me for it, then what's going on? So they're going to have to make a decision with that as well in a couple of weeks. They're saying that they're going to allow the kids to come back, but what if it gets so bad that they don't go back? And again, you're back at square one. And again, they haven't done any work to these dorms. And some of these dorms are not safe. They have mold in them and everything. I dealt with that this past semester. So you're gonna have to deal with some of this stuff. And when you say you're the top tier, top level of colleges or universities, you have to stand on that. Don't have us sending these kids down there to y'all or over to y'all, especially at Howard, because I always thought Howard was top of the line everything. And we found out this past semester how horrible it was. And it's extremely expensive. So, you're going to have to put some money in the buildings, infrastructure, Wi-Fi, all of that good stuff. You're going to have to invest in it. So I don't know how they're going to go about doing it, but at the same time, it's not an option at this point. You're going to have to, if you want attendance to go up. Now, I haven't heard any bad stuff about Dell State in this last semester. But in the past, yes, they have had situations as well. So I'm not saying it's just Howard or Clark. I'm saying across the board, it's a lot of them, a good percentage of them. So things have to change and money has to be spent the right way. Not saying that they're not all doing that. I'm just saying for some of them, I know that I watched Spelman and Morehouse get a plenty of money, and I don't see too much of Clark getting anything. So, you're going to have to push that money back into these programs and these universities, colleges and universities. So that's my take on that as a parent. You got to get it together. And yes, you are in a tight situation because we're in this pandemic, but at the same time, I am going to be the parent to hold you up for your accountability. And most of the time now, I'm not sending no emails. I'm coming to your office. If I have a serious issue, I'm coming on that campus. I will find you. So
I have a particular set of skills.
Yeah. So it is what it is, but you have to keep, same thing with K through 12, the administration. You should know your kids' principals and teachers. You have to go into those school conferences. It's not a minute. And I know that my middle school that my kids have went to, I know they are sick of me. I know they are. They have been, because they tired of seeing my face. They tired of me coming up there when it's an issue or whatever. But I'm glad that y'all know that, yes, I am that mom that's gonna pop up. I'm not sending no message. I'm not making no appointment. You are here and I am here too. We're gonna talk. So you have to stay on top of their education. It's really, really important. And you have to talk to your kids too. So yeah. Your cousin is not as nice as what I know people's opinions will be different. But
like, I think this might do a part two, because did you read about Michigan signing a bill that they were going to allow non-teaching faculty at the schools temporarily be able to serve as substitute teachers in the schools?
No.
Because there's a teacher shortage, and there's not enough. I guess there's not enough substitutes.
Yeah.
Supplement these classes for these teachers not being there, or for this teacher shortage. So they signed a bill to temporarily allowing non-teacher faculty to be substitutes. So like
that are not certified to be actual teachers
or substitute.
Regular people, regular workers
at the school.
Yes.
We're talking cafeteria workers, probably some of your admin staff.
They're going to be in front of somebody's classroom teaching the curriculum but are they going to follow it? So you could be getting anything. They could be teaching these kids anything, and you would never know.
I'm saying, you might get your Umar Johnson.
Yes.
Might get you.
Oh my gosh.
Might get you Umar Johnson follower one day for social studies.
You might even get Tiffany Haddish.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's we might do a part two.
Yeah, but it's been good tonight. It's been good.
Oh man. And yeah, I appreciate those who watched and commented.
Yeah, we appreciate
Provided their insight. That was dope. Santis made a comment about when I was talking about all this information is at your fingertips. She was like, knowledge at your fingertips opposed to encyclopedias. Man, you remember Encyclopedia Britannica back in the day? Yeah. Ridiculous.
Where is that at in the house? The whole book set.
Man. But yeah. My mom said, go in there, march in there and do what you need to do.
Aunt Mary knows where we come from. I come from a long list of women.
Yeah.
Women. They play no games at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you, there's some of the stories I can tell you, not just with my mom. Man.
Oh man.
But yeah. Appreciate the talk, appreciate the conversation, appreciate you taking some time. Appreciate you bringing up the topic. Definitely was a good talk. I liked it. I enjoyed it. As always, I always enjoy our conversations. Even though you call me an entertainer. But anyway, I think we definitely got to do a part 2 and talk about this. And hopefully, I think we need to plan it out so that way we can let people know, and we can get more people involved in the conversation in the chats and stuff like that.
Cool.
Put yes in the chat.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you for watching, everyone. We appreciate it.
Thanks. Appreciate y'all. And hope y'all have a good night, and we'll see you next time.
Yes. See you later.